7 is a what? 7 is a prophetic number. It's okay if you go the wrong way. With all your maneuvers, don't just rely on the markers that your instructors would give you. And then the guy literally just stepped on the brake and he was just like, oh, there's a car behind you, there's a car behind you, you have to move, or you have to move out of the way. Sir, where am I going? What day is it today? It's October, end of last... It's November today. Oh my god. I was literally going to say it's the last day of October. It's actually November. Mad. But I want to do this video. Hi, my name is Kacha, the whole shebang. Yeah, hi, welcome. But I wanted to do this video because I haven't seen a lot of videos of real people, like not instructors or anything, just real people talking about basically the experience, like taking their driving, and some people are sort of a little bit shy to say that they failed a few times. I'm not ashamed to say I failed 7 times because listen, I am really smart when it comes to like other stuff that I do, and when it comes to taking exams, like, and this is why this was so difficult for me. Life was just like, oh, you think you know so much? Wait. But yeah, it was very frustrating, and I think at some point I was just like, listen, 7 is a prophetic number. 7, God rested on the 7th day. So at some point, even I had to rest from taking driving test. The point of this video is going to be talking about some of the mistakes that I made, and hopefully it can help you out as well. Feel free to share this with someone who is learning to drive. They can learn as well and not make these mistakes that I made. So first reason why I failed my driving test, right? I was taking a turn at say 40-50 mile an hour road. I was a really scaredy cat, let me tell you. I was extra safe. I'm like, oh my god, like I don't want to go too quick. But I was going too quick, okay? I was going too quick because I remember my instructor was telling me, you're too slow. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna try 40 mile an hour road. I want to be doing like 36, 38 comfortably. So I was going at that speed on that road, and I was supposed to be taking a left turn to go into a park to do like my maneuver for my bay parking, right? And then I took that turn, but I took that turn way too quick. And the way that the road was set up, I was going to like, I was basically going into the bushes because I couldn't control the car. So what lesson did I learn from this? First one is know different speed levels. Like be comfortable with, okay, like for example now, like when I'm taking a turn, depending on the sharpness of that turn, I know what speed I want to be going at. If it's a really sharp bend, you want to be, and you can't even see what's coming forward, you want to be going slowly, but just be comfortable with different speed levels. The second thing that I learned from this is that my instructor was helping me out on the brake, right? So this really cheeky woman, yeah, she was because on the instructor side of a driving test car or like an instructor car, they have a clutch and a brake because I was learning manual, right? So when I'm taking turns, when I was doing driving lessons, she would help me out with the clutch, she would help me out with the brake. So I didn't know that, oh, I was going too quick. And then when the time came for the test, obviously my instructor is not there to press the clutch for me. So what happens? I go, press the brake for me. So what happens is I go too quick, but I'm going at the speed that I always went at. Watch out for that, because I realize it's something that some instructors can do, because when they do that as well, is that it breaks the confidence a little bit, and you're like, okay, I need a little bit more lessons, or basically a little bit more lessons, and it's more money for them. I was just like, yeah girl, like don't touch that clutch, because I actually started to feel as well when I'm on the brake and she's like getting on the brake. I'm like, if I'm going too quick, tell me, do not get on the clutch. Okay, second thing, second test that I failed because I was going at this road where if you're on, it was a roundabout, approaching a roundabout, and it's a mandatory left if you're on the left side. So if you're on the left side of the road, you have to turn left. Normal roundabout, if you're on the left side of the road, you can go ahead or you can go left, but this one mandatory left. And there was a little curb in between the left lane and the right lane as you approach the roundabout. And that day what happened, I forgot, but that wasn't the reason why I failed the test. The instructor was telling me to go ahead, so I was like, oh, I'm the left side, okay, let me just quickly try and go on the right so I can go ahead on the right. And it was in that process I flickered, like signaled, and then apparently the instructor was like, oh, the car that was coming that was behind me, I hesitated too long, and the car coming behind me was thinking that I didn't want to go and they were just speeding through. I think at that point I didn't really take it in because I was really nervous. I didn't really know what happened, but basically that's what he told me happened. And then he obviously had to like step on the brake and was like, just go turn left there. So my thing in this one, in this test, that I think is really, really important to learn is it's okay if you go the wrong way, right? So if you're like, in that case, what I should have done is, oh, I'm on the left side, sorry, flicker my switch, I'm turning left, take the left turn, we'll find somewhere else to go. Okay, that's what you should do. If you find that you're going the wrong way, if the instructor is telling you, even the sat nav, right, because they do sat nav now, if the sat nav said go ahead or go wherever and you go another way, just make sure that you do it safely, right? If you're already lost, just be lost continuously. Like, don't try and do anything too quick and then that will make you do something unsafe. That was the one thing that I learned from this one. It's okay to go the wrong way as long as you go the wrong way safely. And obviously at roundabouts now, make sure you're looking on the floor, because when it's left only, it will show you the arrow where it's only a left, whereas if it's a left and an ahead, it will show you an arrow going left and ahead as well. Hopefully that makes sense. My third one, this one broke my heart so much. Like, oh my god, because it was just such a stupid thing. I basically forgot my signal on, and say on that road there is another left coming up, so people then thought I was going left, but I wasn't going left. I just left my signal on, and then basically what happened was that people were waiting for me to turn. And then in the UK, if you by any way affect traffic, you're gonna fail. So yeah, I just thought that wasn't very nice, because like the drive was really nice. And with most of the tests that I was taking, I was getting like 7 minors, which is really nothing, because I think you can get up to 14 minors, I could be wrong, 13 or 14 minors before you fail. So I was only getting like 7 minors, and this one I think I probably got like 4. I think the max minors that I got on all the tests that I took was 7. This one I probably got like 4. There's barely nothing on there, and then just the one major, which was that I left my signal on. Very frustrating, but yeah. I think one thing to watch out for in this one is that and this was in the summer, I knew, what was so annoying was that the day before I told myself the exact same thing. I always used to forget my signal on, especially because in the summer I bring down my windows, the sound of the road is really noisy, I can't hear the signal going. And normally, like, if you take sort of enough revolutions on your what's this thing called again, your steering, it should, like, this the signal should automatically come off. But if you don't steer that much, it wouldn't. So in this case it hadn't. My windows were down, it was a summer's day, didn't hear it, as I never do, and I failed. Okay, so very frustrating. But yeah, if you're driving, just be aware, listen to the car as well as looking at the road. I know it's a lot, but you gotta do it. The fourth reason I failed, what was this one? I feel like it was something really stupid. Oh yes, I remember this one. Oh my god, it's so annoying, because wow, it was autumn as it is right now, and what the trees do when it's autumn, they shed their leaves. So I'd gone into a road to do my parallel parking maneuver, and because most instructors in the UK, they will give you like a procedure basically. Mine was LSR with this instructor, so left, and then you get to a point when the car is at a particular angle, you turn the wheel straight, and then when you see the curb, or when you stop seeing the curb at the back, then you do it right. But what happened was my curb was gone, right? Because it's autumn, leaves are falling, leaves covered the entire bit of the road. I couldn't see, because where I live is like in the suburbs, there's lots of trees, but the curb was completely gone. Like, there was just leaves and leaves everywhere, and I'm just like, okay, like, where is the curb? Like, I don't know when it ends, I don't know when it starts. I was just like, oh my god, because that basically affected one of the markers for this steps that I had for doing a parallel park. And yeah, so he was like, it's okay actually if you don't get your maneuver for the first time, and what he said was like, yeah, that's fine, you can go back to front, adjust it again. But it was pointless, because I'm coming back to the same back that didn't have a curb, so what's the point in that? So yeah, I basically couldn't do it, and he was just like, yeah, let's go. And if you fail a maneuver in the UK as well, you fail your test. So you can't parallel park, you cannot drive if they ask you to do one of those maneuvers anyway. But the one lesson that I learned here is actually be comfortable with your maneuvers. Like, your instructors will give you steps to do certain things. Like, for example, if you want to bay park to the left, okay, mark this particular point or do this particular thing. But the one thing you need to do is to be comfortable. Like, what happens if, okay, the car does an angle like this? What happens? Like, how do I basically understanding fully how the car moves? Now I'm actually still really good at parallel parking, because I really need it for where I live, because there's not a lot of parking space, so most times you have to park in tight spaces. And basically what I do is, okay, I hit the curb when I go, just slightly nudge on it, I'm like, oh, that's a curb, and then I adjust my car, go front, go a little bit back, go front, go a little bit back, and that's it. So just be comfortable. I know I don't know if this sounds very basic, but just be comfortable with how the car moves. So knowing what turns to take to get it to go a certain way, just practice with that. With all your maneuvers, don't just rely on the markers that your instructors will give you. Try and see what happens if it fails. Okay, what happens if I go, you know, to a bay parking and my car is like smack bang in the middle of the white line instead of like inside the bay? How do I correct that? So just be comfortable with trying different things with your maneuvers. So if that day, for some reason like me, you're trying to look for a curb, but trees of flowers or leaves have covered the curb, you know what to do. Okay, what else? My next one, oh my god, hey Jesus, my next one really pained me so much because I had like 2 minors. Oh, it was very painful. Do you know, let me tell you what happened. So I was driving down a really bendy road, maybe like 2 minutes before I failed that test. Actually, let's give it 30 seconds. 30 seconds before I failed that test, I was just like, oh, this road feels really bendy. It felt like almost as soon as I said that, I hit a curb. But it was super bendy. So it was on one of those bends, I hit a curb, and because it was like a quiet place, it was like, oh, what was that? And then the examiner was like, no, sorry, I'm not going to pass you because you hit a curb. When I finished the test as well, the instructor was like, wow, I feel so bad because like that was such a nice drive. Like I got 1 or 2 minors. The sheet was basically empty. Only thing that I did wrong was that I clipped a curb on one side of the road. So yeah, what did I learn from this one? I think I would say like, it's back to the speed thing again, but I was going at like 24 miles an hour, which was nothing really, because it was like I think it was a 30 or 40 road, because I remember saying to the instructor that, oh, this is a bendy road, because I wanted him to know that that's the reason why I'm going slow, is that I'm not comfortable with how bendy this road is, so I'm going a lot slower, so don't judge me, okay? Which was fine, but going at 24 miles an hour, I still happened to clip a curb. But I don't know, I don't really know what I learned from this one, but I guess if you need to go slower, go even slower. And maybe if I was going at 20 instead of 24, maybe that wouldn't have been like too severe, and then he would have thought, okay, that's fine. I know that I do struggle with spatial awareness as well, even up till this day. Like I'm constantly like, oh, am I too close, am I too far? And so yeah, I think that's kind of affected me though, because driving now, like sometimes I'm a bit too far into the other side of the road because of the experiences, or that experience that I had where I was too close and I clipped a curb. But then being too far on the other side is not good as well. You just want to be smack bang in the middle of the lane. But anyway, that's what I learned from that one. And then the 6th one, oh god, this video is long, isn't it? It's like just going through all of my pain. Wow. The 6th one, what happened in 6th one? Let me tell you. I think sometimes you just need to accept that some examiners just don't like you, or some examiners are just a-holes, basically. They're just not nice people and they just want to fail you, and that's something that you have to make a pact with, or agreements with, happiness with, whatever. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes they don't be liking you, and it is what it is. So this was what happened with this one, where there was no problem. There was no, literally, I was driving and there was I was gonna take a right. There was a car coming in front of me, and it's about to turn right. The guy was like, oh my god, why are you, there's a car. I'm like, sir, that car is far away. And by the time I turned, it took a while before the car even came and crossed where I was. Sir, why are you being panicky? Why are you being weird? What is going on? And I could see the car very clearly because I remember it was a red car coming on. I was taking a turn to the right, and this guy was like, oh, move. And then he was like, Stephanie, move. I'm like, are you going, what? Also, another thing that happened in that test was that I was, I think I was going ahead, and I think it was one of those ones where, it was a roundabout. I was going ahead a roundabout, and I was just in the middle of the road. There was not enough space to for any car to pass by me. There was not enough space on the other side. It's not like a 2-lane roundabout road. It's a single lane. No car can go anywhere else. And then the guy literally just stepped on the brake, and he was just like, oh, there's a car behind you. You have to move, or you have to move out of the way. Sir, where am I going? I looked inside the same mirror. Where is the car? He was like, oh, there was a car there. Are you seeing spirits? Where is the car? And the thing is, once the examiner steps on the brake in the test, you failed basically. And I'm like, where? Listen to me, just accept it. Sometimes you get some examiners that are like I said, they're not very nice people. They're just looking for somebody to fail, and it is what it is, which is basically what that one was. So I came down, and then it was one of those ones. He was just such a nasty attitude as well, because they go through the reasons why he failed with you and your instructor, and I was just like, but there was no car. He was like, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. What can you do? Anyway, moving on. 7th one. Oh, this is the one where, wow. God came through for me, because like I said, 7 is what? 7 is a prophetic number. I was like, I'm tired. And like at this point, my theory tests, because you have to do a theory test like an exam, and then your practical. My theory test is only valid for 2 years, and I passed my test in January, and my theory test was expiring in May. I told my instructor, listen to me. If I don't pass and I have to do another theory test, I'm done. I'm out here. I'm just really done. Like at this point, I was just like, I'm not learning anything new. 7th one, I want to talk about this one as well, even though this is one where I passed. I felt like I could have easily failed. And actually, I should say, I did all the different types: afternoon, weekend, morning, night, all the different like slots of driving you could do, because they were like, oh well, if you do it by the weekend, people aren't around. If you do it by this, if you do it in the morning, I did all. But this one where I passed, it was a morning one, like 8:10 I believe. And I wanted to ask my examiner, like I was like, are you okay? Is everything all right? He was literally like looking out the window the entire time. I think he was monitoring what I was doing and eventually like just making notes, but he just felt like he wasn't there. And I was just like, thank you Jesus, I hope he's okay, and I hope everything is well with him, but like thank you for not paying attention, okay? Because I think I stalled twice. There's nothing wrong with stalling in a test, by the way. I drive now, I still stall because sometimes it's the manual life. So it was like a really tight road, double parking on both sides of the road, and there's an oncoming car. I was like, where do you want me to go? So it's like finding somewhere, and it was up a hill as well. Oh my god, stressed. I was like finding somewhere to tuck in for the car to come, and then whilst I was trying to pull out, stall once at the same spot, stalled again. I was just like, oh, but he didn't even budge. He was so chill. He was just like, yeah, you're fine, just carry on. And yeah, I think I probably got like 2 minors and no majors, obviously, so I passed that one. So there was nothing special that happened there. Yeah, I think that's everything really. I spent like at least £3,000 learning to drive. I'm like, that's freaking ridiculous, because I didn't need to spend all that money. It was over the course of 2 years, but still it was like, this is so much money. And at some point I really wanted to give up. So many people fail their tests so many times, like it is completely normal. So yeah, you're not stupid if you fail your tests so many times. Like do it as much as you need to. Obviously it's not free. That's a frustration, because DVLA or DVSA or whatever they call themselves, sometimes they're just out here making money off of me. But yeah, don't be discouraged, keep going, and hopefully these mistakes that I made have helped you, and eventually you will pass and you buy your car. Okay, it is such a big step getting a car, but I don't even think I think of it. I think because I've struggled so much, like to actually get my license, like I don't even, I'm just like, oh, people like congratulations, I'm just like, yeah, thanks, after all the struggle. But yeah, I'm just happy to have my own little space. Like the other day, I was going to McDonald's, and normally like I was trying to look for where to buy, like because I was so hungry, but I could just buy it, come into my car, eat, make a phone call, like listen to music. So yeah, like I don't want to say it was worth it, because I really didn't need to go through all that struggle. Hopefully, as you can tell by this video, it was just stupid mistakes. But yeah, it is such a good feeling, I think, just having the car and having my own little, my own little space, traveling through the world with my own little space. I think it's really nice. It still feels really weird though. Like sometimes when I'm like, oh, here's my car, I'm just like, oh, that's mine. That's crazy. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. It would make me so happy if you can like, share it, subscribe, and share it to your friends. And I will see you somewhere in this space sometime soon. Take care. Bye.